So the sun has set. The great independent TV network in Canada that spoke for so many people who had no other voice, well, our voice fell silent, or as our competitors said, we faded to black.
Sun News Network went off the air today.
But the end of Sun News Network.
Let's have a quick look at what happened at 5 a.m. Eastern Time.
This board appeared. Online, content was replaced by the Sun News logo.
Sun TV faded to dark.
Sun News faded to black.
Faded to black, eh? Well, you know the saying, you can curse the darkness or you can light a candle. I am mourning the loss of the Sun. Best job I ever had. Most amazing colleagues, most passionate viewers, most loyal friends. But now what? I don't have tens of millions of dollars to start a new TV station. I don't have political connections at the CRTC. I don't have $1 billion a year in corporate welfare bailouts like the CBC gets. So what can I do? I mean, I don't even have a studio. I am literally standing in my house right now. How pitiful is that? Well, actually, it's not pitiful at all. Actually, it's pretty exciting because while being an official TV channel has its perks, it also has its drawbacks. It's regulated by political hacks at the government CRTC. It has bossy censors, politically correct wieners at the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council. And of course, you only get onto those TV sets that cable companies allow you to do. And on the channel placement of their choosing and at the price they grudgingly agree to pay you, all of those hurdles, all of those barriers, and for what? For a medium that is quickly being eclipsed by the internet, where you are seeing this now. 10 years ago, YouTube didn't even exist. It was literally invented in February of 2005. Netflix used to mail you copies of DVDs in snail mail. Imagine that. Now it streams endless movies and TV shows direct to your home whenever you want them. They're even making their own original movies now. And there are countless competitors to YouTube and Netflix and Apple's iTunes, all offering you the freedom and access and convenience that the traditional TV industry just doesn't have, and that bureaucrats and politicians wouldn't allow anyways. A TV camera used to cost more than $100,000. There's still tens of thousands of dollars for the fancy ones, but this high-definition video is being shot on a camera that cost a couple of $1,000s. I'm looking forward to getting out of this living room, by the way. That's code for my wife has given me a direct order to get out of here. But seriously, how much does it cost to set up a small studio or to do a show even from the street? At the Sun News Network, we would use satellites to interview people in faraway cities like London, England. Great. I mean, it was great. But for those 5 or 10-minute interviews, that could literally cost $800 or more in satellite fees. Why not use Skype and a webcam? The quality of the footage isn't quite as high, but Skype's getting better all the time. 3 or 4 interviews a day over Skype instead of by satellite, that could save $500,000 a year. Why wouldn't you? But the best difference is for you, the viewer. Take my show, The Source. It was on every night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and if you missed it, it was on again at 10 p.m. Okay, but what if you were busy then? I mean, why couldn't you watch it when you wanted to on demand? In fact, that is where quite a few of our viewers were, online. So to ask the obvious question, why go through all the regulatory and cable company BS and all the massive costs of putting the show on regular TV if many, maybe even most of our viewers were just going to watch it at their leisure on their computer or phone whenever they wanted to? So an internet-based TV channel isn't just politically freer. It isn't just cheaper to produce. It's also more convenient for users and allows for more creativity from us. On TV, we had to produce 44 minutes of TV exactly to the second. We had to take commercial breaks at prescribed moments. So what if we could go as long or as short as we wanted to? What if we wanted to show you all sorts of extra content, sort of like a director's cut? How do you even do that on TV? I think I know how you do it on the internet. So why should we do a show at 8 p.m. every day? What if we knew that a big news story was breaking early in the morning and wanted to go to air earlier? What if big news wouldn't come down until, say, 7 p.m. and we needed more time to produce the show? The internet doesn't care. Work when you need to, not when the cable companies or TV schedule tells you to. You get my point? And don't get me wrong. I am deeply sad that the Sun News Network has closed. I am forever grateful to Quebecor and particularly to Pierre-Carl Pelledo for supporting a diversity of views and freedom of speech, even when he disagreed with us. I'll always be grateful for the opportunity and for meeting so many amazing people. I wish we were still alive and on TV, but wishing won't make it so. any more than wishing that the newspaper business was still growing strong would make it so too. There is more demand for content than ever. It's just that people want it when and where and how they want it, and they want to interact. To be active, not passive. Well, that's pretty much what the word internet means, where everybody is on the great democratic experiment together, pretty much the opposite of a CRTC-governed blandscape. Yeah, I just made up that word, blandscape. So here's my plan. I want to create something to take the place of the Sun News Network. It won't be as big, at least not for a while. It won't be as much content. It won't be 12 or 16 hours of video content a day, not as many bells and whistles, yes. But all the heart, all the independence, all the great conservative ideas. I've reached out to a number of my former colleagues to invite them along, and I'll reach out to still more. Some are still mourning the loss of the Sun and trying to figure out what comes next. We're all still reeling a bit, but we all know that we still care about the things we cared about last week, and I think you do too. But what should we call all this? I got an idea. The Rebel .media. The Rebel speaks for itself, right? Rebel against the blandscape. Rebel against the CRTC and the cable companies who strangled the Sun News Network. Rebel against the smug mainstream media who think their ideas reflect the national consensus. Rebel against the idea that Jian Ghomeshi and Brian Williams are real journalists, but we're not because we're direct to the internet. And .media, what's that? Well, it's better than .com or .tv or .ca. The Rebel .media, because the media is what's new, direct to internet, interactive, inclusive. You count. We'll ask you for your opinion every day. We'll incorporate your ideas into our shows in a way that regular TV stations never did, never could, because they were never connected directly to you. They always went through those false middlemen, the CRTC and the cable companies. When you become a member of the Rebel.media, there's no middleman. You talk directly to us and vice versa. No filter. We'll give you the news. We'll give you great conservative commentary on the news, and we'll do the one thing you really loved about the Sun News Network. We'll go to battle for you and our values, whether it's crowdfunding $100,000 like we did for the families of the Canadian Forces soldiers who were murdered by terrorists last fall, or hiring John Carpay, the lawyer, to fight for freedom of religion for Trinity Western University, or for taking on the rogue city council at Nanaimo, BC last year. We're still building things. It's only been a few days since the sun set. Every single day you will see our new adventure coming together one piece at a time. I know I'm just in my living room today, but tomorrow will be a little bit bigger and a little bit better and even more the next day. Sign up and be part of it. Don't just be a viewer. Be a member. When the Sun News Network closed, I could have done a lot of different things. I guess I could have gone back to being a lawyer, God forbid, or into, I don't know, some field of business. But the thousands of letters and Facebook comments from you told me you wanted something strong to rise from the ashes of the sun. You told me you wanted me to be involved with it. I will try. I can't do it alone. I hope you'll help me, and I hope I can live up to your expectations. I promise you this. I'll give it everything I've got. Join me at the Rebel.media, and let's do this together.